Hi, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we explore all things astrology. And today, continuing on in our Venus through the signs series, we are tackling Venus in Sagittarius, how this placement manifests when you have the planet of love, of beauty, of luxury show up in the freedom-loving sign of Sagittarius. We are breaking this placement down in all of its capacities. So exploring how Venus in Sagittarius operates financially, romantically, aesthetically, creatively, because these are all the domains of Venus. Please comment below what sign you would want me to do next, or if there's any other series that you would be interested in my perspective on to enriching your study of astrology and your experience with your own chart and with the charts of your friend and family. Before I dive into Venus and Sagittarius for all of its expansive, wise properties, if there's any point that you gain value in this video, if you feel seen, if you feel heard, if you understand a friend or family member who has Venus and Sagittarius a little bit better, if you could just drop a comment, subscribe, like, only if I deserve it, only if you truly gain value. Those little nudges are really what helps me to create content, and I'm so grateful. Without further ado, let's dive into the video, Venus and Sagittarius. So let's explore romance first, because a lot of times when people are watching these Venus videos, they're watching them for a crush or a partner, because truly, to get to someone's heart, you gotta get to their Venus. That sounded dirtier than intended, but with Venus and Sagittarius, if your crush has this, it's really important to honor how that placement shows up romantically. Because, and this is why it's important to take a full-fledged look, because a lot of people who have this will have their sun in Scorpio or their sun in Capricorn, which are typically more serious, intense placements, right? And then Sagittarius is one that is very novelty adoring. And before you get frightened, knowing that your crush has this, freedom can mean a lot of different ways. I will say for a fact that Venus in Sagittarius does want love to feel freeing. So this is not the sort of crush or relationship where a Venus in Sagittarius person wants to feel constricted. For them, it has to feel quite the opposite, something that makes them feel more free within their life, someone who wants to go on adventures with them, explore with them. Can this mean that Venus in Sagittarius has a difficult time settling down? It most absolutely can mean that, but not always. Sagittarius is on this journey for the truth, this journey for meaning, and this journey to experience life. So yes, you do have some Venus and Sagittarians who take this freedom-loving, expansive nature and want to sample everyone, or at least explore the dating world to its fullest, because Sagittarius does embed these chart holders with this sensation of always wanting to expand and grow and adventure, and this honest fear of feeling stagnant or even feeling settled. So sometimes you can date a Venus Sagittarius and they will let you know that they're not interested in commitment, and commitment isn't something that you can force upon them, because Venus in Sagittarius needs to feel like they are exploring, expanding, and adventuring. And if love is something they're boxed into, they're just gonna run right away. So if you're interested in Venus Sagittarius and they're not really giving you those clues for commitment, this isn't something where you can back them into a corner and be like, okay, you're gonna be with me, and that's that. Now, not every Venus in Sagittarius is necessarily a player. It can be that, because we have to keep in mind that Sagittarius is answering to Jupiter. So Venus, the Venus placement is answering to Jupiter. Jupiter expands, right? So with the Venus in Sagittarius, they can have a love for love, a love for romance, a love for sensuality. And the novelty-seeking side of Sagittarius may want to explore that with multiple people. So if you're, crushing on Venus Sagittarius and they are just out in the world, dating everyone, this isn't someone that you can sort of box in and be like, you want me. They need to arrive to that at their own conclusion. And honestly, it can be a maturity thing. Like Venus in Sagittarius needs to find that novelty satiated, and it doesn't necessarily have to take place via other people. It could be a love for traveling, a love for learning, a love for wisdom, but I just wanted to let you know, for romantic wise, there is this desire to truly enjoy life, and that could indicate lots of partners or just exploring life with one partner, which is the next kind of bucket I'm going to talk about, because Venus and Sagittarius, a lot of people think, okay, they're not going to be faithful, and quite the opposite, honestly. Sagittarius is a very truth-seeking sign. So typically when you're dating someone who has Venus in Sagittarius, they are going to be very straight up with you. They're looking for this personal sense of meaning for their life. So they might be like, yeah, I'm dating 5 people. If you're not down with that, gonna rock with you. Like, this typically isn't a sign that's very dishonest. Like, yes, they might not be interested in commitment, but they're not necessarily going to say that you're the only person that they're talking to. They typically will let you know where they are at, because Sagittarius is a very truth-seeking sign. Now, when they are interested in someone, they want to learn through you. They want to adventure with you. They want to learn about life with you. So this is a sort of Venus placement that is going to love really unique date nights. They want to learn through you. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to take the lead, but you need to sort of highlight areas where you might be of expertise. They love different. They love exploring. So highlighting, your nuances, maybe like where you're from, educating them on your culture, or taking them to, your neighborhood, your favorite spots, sharing, your knowledge in the industry that you've picked up. There is this desire for Venus and Sagittarius. They want to learn, and they want to learn about the world through their partner. They want to adventure with you. They will value spontaneity. So if you're someone who really values, having a plan and having a structure, unless there's other mitigating factors within the chart, this is someone who's gonna really love and thrive. A partner returns to them at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday and is like, hey, do you want to drive to Yosemite tomorrow? And someone who'll be like, yes, let's make it happen. They want life to feel exciting, spontaneous, and something new every day. Where the more reckless energy of Sagittarius will show up is if they aren't giving themselves novelty in productive, or at least healthy ways. Healthy ways being, trying different restaurants, exploring different areas, hiking different places, studying different topics. They need to have this feeling of expanding through life. And if they're not getting that, then it can absolutely veer into the territory of partying all the time, or looking for this feeling of expansive through matters that are otherwise sort of self-destructive, or like running away from true intimacy. They need to be sort of seduced through adventure and through fun and through expansiveness and through a promise that they will retain their freedom. Sagittarius, it's like Venus and Sagittarius almost has like this script in their head playing like, I've got to be free, I've got to be free, I've got to be free. So a partner who sort of like smothers them, or is making all these like future plans, or like impedes their sense of like them needing to be free, especially at first, it will frighten them a little bit. And Venus and Sagittarius is apt to run away if they feel like their freedom is being threatened in any way. So another tip I would say with Venus and Sagittarius is just have your own world. Like, Venus and Sagittarius is drawn to life and to lust for life. So if you have your own world, your own interests, your own adventures, that's going to make you so much more magnetic to them, because they don't want to be their partner's own world, and they don't want their partner to be their entire world. They see this wide, expansive world, and yes, they want to experience life with you and take you new places, and you take them new places and have all these crazy experiences, but they also want you to do that on your own, because then they can learn just from the stories that you tell and like kind of enriching conversation that you add to the table. So focus on yourself, have fun, experience life. You can share those conversations with that person. And truthfully, when you're dating Venus Sagittarius, the love will never get stagnant, because Jupiter is always expanding. It can take very spiritual dimensions as well. Venus and Sagittarius can be deeply academic, or at least like wisdom seeking. So they could have a love for like going to museums with you, or traveling. These are the ideal romantic vacay travel buddies, because they truly have a love for it. So truly just don't rush commitment, value their freedom, be honest, ask them questions. They will be honest. They will be straight up with you if you do ask them. And also make sure to honor their hobbies, their own world, because they typically have a very rich inner world. So the next bucket we'll explore is financially. So obviously with Venus and Sagittarius, a lot of their money will go to experiences. A lot of their money will go to travel. The nice thing about this Venus sign is that Sagittarius tends to be a very lucky sign. So with Venus and Sagittarius, they could be apt to win lots of sweepstakes or play the lottery. Don't come for me. I'm not telling you to play the lottery, but I'm just saying Venus and Sagittarius tends to be a little bit more lucky in terms of their investments and their finances. Jupiter expands, so they tend to earn a lot of income, then it goes right back out. So Venus and Sagittarius, what you need to be a little bit mindful of is being a little impulsive with your money, because Venus and Sagittarius spends big. They have a optimism in life that they'll earn it back that can sometimes border into being very, very impulsive or even reckless. So if you do have Venus and Sagittarius, know that you are pretty financially blessed with this, but just be mindful around being reckless with your money. And Venus in Sagittarius deeply values, Venus is their values, so they value experience, they value learning. So Venus in Sagittarius may be the ones who are always enrolling in the yoga workshops, and suddenly they want to get their masters, and oh my gosh, this would be cool to study, or hey, do you want to go to this Bali retreat? They see life through experiences. That is what makes them feel like life is worth living. And if you're going to spend your money on anything Venus in Sagittarius, spend it on experience, spend it on adventures, have a travel budget, have a master's budget, have that built in, because that is something that sort of feeds you. Aesthetically and creatively, Venus in Sagittarius will be one to explore their own personal sense of truth through their art. So remember, Sagittarius is looking for truth, right? And that's why their nature is so adventurous and exploratory, because they're like, you know, it's associated with a traveler. Not every Venus in Sagittarius will necessarily love traveling. Some can travel through, you know, the mind or through other experiences, but there is this sort of like eternal quest for the Sagittarius to find something that feels like it gives their life meaning and purpose. I say most of us live a life, Sagittarius lives a quest. Like they have this journey. That's why they constantly feel like they have to expand and grow. So in this journey, they're seeking truth, a personal truth. They can be a little apt to preaching on their truth when they are motivated or inspired by it, and searching for belief systems. So with Venus in Sagittarius, some of the themes that they could play with are themes of that. They could be awesome travel bloggers. They can be amazing bloggers in general, because they're looking for the distillation of their personal experience of life and their personal sense of truth. They can be very drawn to things that are very bold, things that are very brash, things that are very true to them, things that are very raw. Sagittarius tends to be a very honest sign. They can take risks with their art. With Venus in Sagittarius, go places that other people don't necessarily tread, and they can be very lucky in terms of what it is that they create. In terms of aesthetics, Venus in Sagittarius could be drawn to belongings in their house that are from other places. Sagittarius is associated with foreign countries. So wherever you are watching in the world with Venus in Sagittarius, like perhaps having some artwork from your latest trip to Greece, and you want some memorabilia of that around, something that makes you feel expansive and reminds you of good times. Venus in Sagittarius might love having pictures of their adventures all over, and perhaps religious or spiritual symbols, or like, you know, like a cross or like a Buddha hat, or like something that reminds them of their spirituality. It's not so much aesthetic just for the purpose of aesthetic when it's Venus in Sagittarius. It's aesthetics that make them sort of feel something and get reconnected with their inner belief system, so they can be, you know, drawn to decorate with memories that really make them feel inspired and expansive, or memorabilia from different places that remind them of the adventures. Sagittarius can be drawn to reds, fiery colors, passionate colors. Sagittarius is a sign that wants life to feel exciting, and they want their surroundings to feel exciting. They want their everyday life to feel exciting. When they get bored, that's when they can get reckless, and the sign can absolutely veer into carelessly spending their money, partying all the time, being with people in surface level relationships rather than really getting, you know, intimate with one person. Sagittarius, if their, you know, exploration isn't sort of grounded, it can veer out of control. Of course, the Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, which is prone to excess. But when it's sort of like grounded and they're rooted in their personal sense of truth and what it is that they truly value in life, this is truly a placement that keeps giving. One thing is for sure, when Venus in Sagittarius is within a birth chart, you know that this is someone who is a restless soul, who is an eternal wanderer, who lives a life that is extraordinarily wealthy in experiences and in knowledge and in this pursuit of wisdom. So I'd love to hear below what you think of this placement. My Instagram handle is @Comet_astrology. My TikTok is the same. I'd love to have you subscribe if you feel I've earned it. I post a Magic Monday, which is your look at the astrology of the upcoming week. Posted every single Monday morning here on YouTube. You can get my notifications so you're reminded every Monday. I would so love to have you as a subscriber. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.